Hey, this is Retired Geek Woman, Adventures with Rhiannon, Stardew Valley 1.5, Retired Slow Play, part number 46. And we are going to take up right where we left off, which is day 16 of winter in year number 2. And we are over 102,000 gold in our bank that we're saving up. And we're double checking our relationships here. And winter, I missed Harvey's birthday. Now I have full hearts with him, so it doesn't hurt that bad. But oh my gosh, wouldn't that have been nice if I'd remembered 2 days ago to give him a cup of coffee on his birthday? And I just am so bad about that. But anyway, I am what I am. So Willie is now friends and sending us a fish stew recipe, and we also get a potato from Caroline. So that's so nice. Very thoughtful gift. We'll go put that away in our vegetable area. And we're going to continue on with our chores first thing this morning. And as with each day, we generally have to water our cat. Sometimes Harvey does it, but generally, and if it's raining, we don't need to. But obviously, we should check that every day. And we're going to check all the other creatures that we got going over here. And hello there, everybody. How you doing? Let's see. We should be able to milk Nanny, our goat, this time, and that's a good thing. So we got goat milk and cow milk, and that gives us goat cheese and regular cheese. I think that's how they distinguish as goat cheese and regular cheese, or cheese and goat cheese. Geez, I can't speak. I'm sorry. I'm working on it here. So run around, say hello to everybody in the coop, and try to gather up all these eggs. Sometimes they're standing on the eggs and you don't see them. There's a brown egg down there. It's like I didn't even see it when I picked it up because it was just kind of hidden down there. So, and I accidentally clicked on the mayonnaise. So, and sometimes, like I said, they're standing in the way. But I'm trying to get all the eggs picked up, trying to get everybody petted and everybody with a good morning. And then we're going to grab 3 eggs to pop into our mayonnaise machine, and then we'll be on our way with the rest of our day. And let's see what we got going on here. Oh, get out of the way, little thumper. I'm not creative with names on my animals, therefore my one and only bunny is Thumper. So I'm going to check in here. Look like everything's doing pretty good. We can all leave it be and continue on our way. And I had that potato and thought I might as well just go ahead and put that away. If I can remember which season those grow in. Yeah, it's spring, so I totally couldn't remember. So that'll come in handy when we're starting to make seeds for our next season, which we are going to be starting very soon. Generally, I start about the 15th of the month to gather seeds for our next season, or I should say propagate seeds. You can't buy them yet, so I try to use all of the vegetables that I've been saving to run them through the seed maker and get those done as soon as possible, and as many as possible. What I did is held my right mouse button down to click on all of those preserve jars. And ooh, a pickled pumpkin. That's one of our big money makers. So I'm really excited that we did pumpkins last time. And we're doing cranberries next. And remember now, I need to run down to the cellar each morning. That's part of our morning chores. If there's none available, there's no casks available, then we just pop them in that chest right there. And that's going to be our cheese and wines for those casks, so they will eventually get filled up. So we've got some pickles and mayonnaise to pop in our shipping bin, and that is fantastic. That will give us some good money there. And then I was sitting here kind of thinking, okay, what do we need to do the rest of the day? And I thought I might run to town real quick. And of course, if we see any of the little wormy thingies, otherwise known as the artifact spots, we'll go ahead and hit them. And then I thought I might also run in to see Clint. I mean, we've got 3 Magna Geodes. Surely we'll get something good, right? With 3 Magna Geodes, those are some of the best geodes out there. So let's go give it a try and see what Clint has to say. But before we say good morning to Clint, because he's one of those people, he's one of the last people on my list to make friends with because I don't remember to talk to him. So process our geodes. Let's start with the little bitty geode there. That's one of the first ones. And we got 3 iron ore, which is okay. And then we got 1 iron ore with a Magna Geode. We got 3 pieces of stone with a Magna Geode. that was possibly the most disappointing thing that's ever happened to me with magnet geodes. 2 of them, not just one, 2 of them. It's like, what the heck? I couldn't believe it. It's like, I understand every once in a while you'll get a dud, but 2 duds in a row, I was really not very happy with that. But resources are resources, and we need resources. So we had also done some, as you can see, the artifact spots gave us a couple of things I don't ever use, and then we picked up one of those, I forget what those are called, crocuses? Not sure. But we're still going to forage them and collect them. They will be worth, even if we just throw them in the shipping bin, they're worth something. So we're going to hang on to them if and until we decide we don't need them. I think I have probably in my other play, which has like 11 years on it, I think I have hundreds and hundreds of those. But I decided this time, you know what, let's go ahead and take 21 of them and go pop them in the chest for a preserve jar, and it'll pickle me pickle ones. What the heck? I have no idea. I don't think they're worth very much, but at the same time, I don't want to run through all of my vegetables and the fruits that I'm going to be running through the seed maker. So I kind of want to be selective on what I'm picking to put in those preserve jars and the kegs for wine. I want to be more selective about that because I don't want to use everything up and then have to go buy seeds. One of my goals for this playthrough is to become self-sufficient and not have to go buy any seeds from Pierre's. And I don't know if that's going to happen in this spring. It depends on how big we make our planting fields. And I'm not sure yet. So we got a couple of weeks in game to figure that out. But we'll see. We'll see how close we can get. We certainly won't have to buy all the seeds that we need. We'll be able to propagate our own. And that feels really good to me, to be able to become as self-sufficient as I possibly can. And not sure how far we'll get, but we're certainly going to give it a try. So one of our quests has been, and it's been on our log here forever, is to get a lobster for Gus. And I don't know why it's taking so long. I mean, I know that lobsters are not like super common, but they're also not super rare either. And I did double check the wiki, and it said put crab pots in salt water. Well, I've got 2 crab pots in salt water, and I keep forgetting to grab the rest of my crab pots and just line it up. I don't understand why it's taking so long. I don't know if it's just simply bad luck, or if they're a little bit more rare than I thought they were. That's quite possible. So we're going to run down here and check. I grabbed my fishing rod and took the bait off of it. And so if there's not lobsters down here, we're going to have to rebait. And when I get there, I realize, oh no, it's the night market. I forgot that there's a night market. It's closed right now, but it's set up. The night market is there for 3 nights during the winter. And if you've seen previous episodes, you've seen me kind of wander around in here. There's all kinds of things you could do. There's one where you can watch a mermaid show. You can go deep sea fishing in a submarine. You can purchase things from different vendors. There's all kinds of things you could do. It's quite an interesting market. And I just make sure that if there's things that you can only purchase there, such as the rare crows that I'm trying to collect all of them, then I want to make sure that I purchase them this year if I can, since I am doing pretty well with money. I did notice here that Marnie wants a tuna, and I'm almost positive that I have exactly 1 tuna. And it's like, oh my gosh, I don't think I have more than that. So I was kind of bummed about it, but I thought, you know what, they're not that rare. And I want to help that relationship and get money, and so it seemed like a win-win situation there to go ahead and accept that quest. I guess it's a quest. So I don't like having a ton of quests on my quest log that are undone. We've got the one from Mr. Q, which that one's going to be a while until we do anything with it. I'm just not ready to tackle that yet. And then we've got this lobster thing that we can't seem to get the daggone lobster. Oh, I need to move that crab. Oh, I just realized. Oh, I hate looking back at my own gameplay. It's really a bummer because it's like, oh, how stupid. So we're going to run down to Marnie's while we can. It's 1:50 p.m. I should be able to get there in time. And take her that one tuna that we had. Again, eventually it is a goal to have 5 of everything, because I never know when people are going to want things. And so we're going to pop in here and see if we can catch her. And there she is. Awesome. And go ahead and say hello first. Again, it gives you those relationship points to say hello, even though I don't need them, because I do believe Marnie is the highest relationship. And you can't, once you get the highest, that's it. I mean, you can still talk to them if you want. How much we get? 300. Okay, we'll take it. So once you get the highest relationship with someone, you can't go any higher. Now, I've been told that one of the reasons that I'm not getting baby goats is I only have one baby goat in my barn. So I decided that maybe we should go ahead and buy another goat and see if that does it. I didn't think you had to have 2 for them to spontaneously have babies. But I decided we have the money, and I really want to get a whole barn full of goats. You've seen what the goat cheese goes for. It's insane. So I want to have a barn full of baby goats. Now, I'm going to name my baby goat Poppy. Then the reason why, and this is just personal background information, the reason why is my grandmother her name was Nanny, and this is my mom's mom, was named Nanny, or that's what we called her, and my grandfather was named Poppy, so it was Nanny and Poppy. And my grandmother loved goats, and when my mom was a child, she had goats as pets. I mean, they were in the house. And she told me stories about the goats chewing on Nanny's apron strings. And, it's just a real happy memory for her. So when I think of goats, I think of that. So when I first started naming my goats, or found out we had goats and I could name them, I immediately thought of Nanny and Poppy. So my first 2 goats are Nanny and Poppy, always. As I said before, I'm not the most creative person when it comes to naming my animals. But that one comes from personal real life, and it makes sense to me. So we'll think of other names as we go along, because hopefully we'll have a whole barn full of goats in a year or 2. I don't know how long it takes, but we shall see. In the meantime, we're going to keep our kiln and our charcoal kiln and our furnaces cranking. It's very important that we do that to keep those bars going. I guess I just recently checked our bat cave. I don't know. You guys see a little walkway back there? If I can remember it's there. I forget because I don't see it. And put our bars away that I was wandering around with for no apparent reason. And a winter root that I'm wandering around with no apparent reason. So, it's okay. This winter chest is where we keep the winter forageables, as well as the mushrooms, coconuts, and cactus fruit, things like that. That way we don't have to have extra chests for those for no reason. And, I'm thinking that it's time, again, it's after the 15th of the month, it's time to start propagating our seeds for spring. And I couldn't believe I did that. Now they're out of order. I have to go back and redo them again. Oh, me. Eventually, I probably will get a whole bunch more seed makers, because I can make them, I think. I can craft them. And line that wall right there with 8 or 10 seed makers, and it will make this whole process go faster. It takes 10 seconds for each vegetable or fruit to make a seed. And so, again, it's just a time thing, and I'll get around to it eventually. I just haven't gotten to it yet. We're not in full production yet. We don't have our full growing area ready yet. So I didn't see that it was worth it to right now to go ahead and make those seed makers. Oh, look at that. Ancient seed. Did you see that? Every once in a blue moon, you're going to get something besides what you put in there. I put cauliflower and I got an ancient seed. So that is so cool. We're going to go pop that ancient seed in our greenhouse because we are growing a huge plot of them. Ancient seeds grow ancient fruits. And once you plant that seed, you never have to plant it again if you leave it, because they never, once you pull, they just are constantly giving you harvest after harvest. It's probably per seed, it is the most valuable seed that you have, period. Because once you plant it, it just keeps producing fruits, and those fruits make wine, and that makes the most valuable wine in game when you're figuring it per seed. Star fruits, which I've got growing down on the bottom left there, that's the most expensive wine in game, but when you pick them, that's it. You have to grow more star fruits. So ancient fruit is the way to go, and I keep that greenhouse full of them once we get going here, and it's going to take a little while, but we'll get there. And it's so exciting because that's when the big money starts coming. So ancient fruit and putting them in your cellar, ancient fruit to make wine, and take those wine bottles. Where are you going, Harvey? Okay. Ancient fruit to make ancient fruit wine, and age it in your cellar, and you are cranking the money. I'm telling you, that's the way to go. But it's okay. We still need a daggone lobster. I don't know what's taking so long. We'll figure it out. But the night market, let's go down there and check it out. And I want to make sure that there isn't something that I can't buy any other season or any other place. I'm looking for those rare crows especially, to make sure that I have them, all the ones that are available. And I couldn't remember for sure. So let's come down here and take a quick look. And this guy can't, again, this is decorative stuff. And I just can't spare the money right now. There's too many other things that we need money for. And so I'm just kind of walking along here. Hi, Marnie, how you doing? And let's see what this person's got. This is actually the traveling merchant. And, oh, $7,500 for a pomegranate sapling? I don't know if that is, oh, that's a lot of money. I've already got that rare crow, so I don't need that one. This guy's selling a painting for $1,200, which is lovely. But again, it's $1,200 that I do not want to spend at this time. We're not doing decorations at all right now. That's just something we're going to have to wait on for a little while, and that's okay. We will get there. Might as well get my free coffee while I'm here. I'm not a coffee person in the game. I know a lot of people don't play unless they are loaded down with coffee. I don't need it. What it does is it make you walk faster. I don't need that. I'll play the game as is without having a coffee high constantly. And that's what that is. Basically, you get a coffee high and you're just running around, which I don't care about that. This shrouded figure guy will send us home for 250 gold, and I thought that would be a good idea. And we are home. Ta-da! Last time I used the warp totem just because. And then this time I thought, it's a long walk. It's a long walk, and it's not awfully late, but I thought, why not? You know, again, when you start having a lot more money, you tend to be a little bit more loose with it in some ways, and that was one way I chose to. As I started to talk about the decorations, eventually this farmhouse will be completely decorated on the inside, and it's just too expensive to do right now with all of the other things that we need to spend our money on, and I just do not consider it a priority. As you saw, I got that free coffee and I tucked it away in the refrigerator, and when I need or want to, I can give it to Harvey as a gift, and it helps the relationships stay up. If you haven't played this before, you do need to maintain your spousal relationship. Pickled pumpkins, $6.90 each, 14,000, almost 15,000 gold for those pumpkins. Oh, look at that. Look at the little spaceship. There's nothing to this. There's nothing that happens. It is just simply a little, like an Easter egg, if you will. Something funny that happens. Little spaceship flying across. We are in day 17 of winter in year number 2. And now we are over 113,000 gold, which is fantastic at this point. I'm way above where I expected to be, so that's a good thing. We do have some expenses coming up, and we will get to that very soon. Right now, we're just putting the money away in the bank and doing our chores and slowly adding to our stash of money, which is awesome. And we're going to go try to pet the kitty and water the bowl, as opposed to which I've done so many times. I've watered the cat so many times. I feel sorry for this poor kitty. Furball is its name. And if you've seen it previous episodes or you've seen my video on my community tab, I used to have two beautiful Siamese cats. They were very long hair cats, and their nicknames were Furball. I called them my Furballs all the time. So that's kind of an homage to them. In this game, you can only have one, but that's what I called them, and it makes me think of them. And I miss them so, but we won't go there because I'll start to cry. Double checking our greenhouse. Everything's looking good. And I don't have any wine or preserves ready, so okay, that's all right. We'll put away our morning tools or whatever we're using here and go check the cellar and see how we're doing down there. And this time nothing's ready, so we're going to put our cheeses in the chest. And you see the regular cheese is just for milk, and then the goat cheese is the round one, and then we got 3 different wines. And as I've mentioned in a previous episode, that I'm going to just continue to put any wine and any cheeses in that chest until we start getting overloaded with ancient fruit wine, at which point that's the only thing I will be putting. Ancient fruit and star fruit wine will be the only wines I put in there. But until we get there, we need something to put in those casks, and so that's why I am keeping those wines at this time. I'm going to go in here and continue to work on our seed propagation. And if you haven't seen any previous episodes or Stardew Valley, you can take your own fruits and vegetables and run them through a seed maker and create seeds. And each fruit or vegetable has the opportunity to make anywhere from 1 to 3 seeds. And you can also occasionally get a mixed seed, or you can even get an ancient seed like we did last time, which was awesome. So we will just keep pumping these through as many as we can. I will even run, depending upon where we're at in the month, I will be happy to run my actual inventory down to 1 regular, 1 gold, and 1 silver starred item, just so I can have the seeds, as many seeds as possible. And that's so that we don't have to buy them. I mean, as many as we can make. That's 4 out of 2 vegetables right there. And like I said, you can get 1 to 3 from each one. It just saves us money. It's taking things we've already grew and getting basically free seeds out of it. And that helps our profit big time. And so that's why I'm trying to make as many as I can. And hopefully by springtime, I'll have as close as I can to enough seeds to do the first planting at least. If I do that and I make a whole bunch more seed makers, then as they are being harvested, I could run those through the seed maker too. And who knows, we might get enough so that we don't have to buy the main crop in the spring, which is cauliflower. That's my main crop. It will be grown in the center of my planting area, no matter how big that is. And then I do things around the edges, the things that create multiple harvests. So in this case, out of this batch here that we're seeing, strawberries are one of the ones that can make multiple harvests. And I will grow those on the edges of my planting field because they're going to be there all season long. And then I will try to get 2 harvests of the cauliflower during the season. And then obviously the strawberries will just keep doing themselves, just on and on and on. And then once I can't grow any more cauliflower, it's too late in the season, then I'll grow other things, like for instance the garlic, or any other individual item that I want to get some more of. I like having variety, which is why I really made a huge mistake right here, and you'll see why. I like having variety. I grow everything. I do have a main crop, which I deem to be the most valuable crop of the season. And then, yeah, I did that. It was a big mistake. I put the rice in there, and it created a rice shoot, which was not too awfully bright because I already have plenty of rice shoots. And I'm in the wrong. No. Go to the spring box. You see that? I didn't need to do that. That was my fault. Like, oh my goodness, let's just put some garlic in there. So anyway, I started to say, and I keep getting off track. is that I will, once I can't grow anymore, like the main crop, which in this case cauliflower, and it's too late in the season to plant another harvest of it, I will grow other things. And so that's why I'm making some garlic. I like to have some garlic growing there. It's just because it only takes a few days to grow garlic. It's a great late season item to plant. And so we got a few of those. And kind of look in our little chest here and say, okay, what do we got? It's strawberries and parsnips and garlic. And so we're getting a bit. We got 45 cauliflower seeds. I just know that's not quite enough. So I'm going to probably have to get more. Something else that we're going to need is grass starter, which is created with fiber. Grass starter, what I use it for is I like my animals to have fresh grass. And the way you do that is you plant grass starter, and if you plant it the last day before spring, it will explode all over your planting area. I mean, just everywhere. And that's exactly what I'm looking for, is I want to be able to give my animals nice fresh grass for them to eat on. It's my understanding that it helps your relationship with them if they are eating fresh grass. If you don't want to hassle with it, keep them in the barn and they eat the hay that you keep in the silo. But I don't like to do that. I purposely grow fresh grass for them. I have 2 different fields that I rotate them through, so they're eating fresh grass 3 seasons out of the year, and then the silo is for winter only. So that's how I do it. You could do it your own way. That's one of the beauties of this amazing game, is you can do it however you want. You can have no animals, you can have only animals, you could grow crops, no crop. It's whatever you want. It's really it is truly an open world, a sandbox world that you can play in and do however you want. So I've got 12 garlic. Now I've got 11 potatoes. They take 6 days to grow. And then parsnips, I think, are 4. So, I'm getting some good variety, and that makes me very happy. But I do know that I need to keep going on these things like potatoes. I do have a single green bean and a single kale. So if I want to get any of those, I'm going to have to probably buy them, because I don't have enough to make seeds. Unless I only want one green bean plant, which wouldn't be that horrible, because it's a multiple harvest crop as well. But it also makes a trellis that is in the way, and it's there all season. It's kind of a pain in the neck. It's one of those crops that I really don't like growing. But you do need more than one bean, so you never know when someone's going to ask for a green bean. Someone loves green beans as far as a gift. You need to make something that has a green bean as an ingredient or whatever. One green bean is not going to cut it. So that's again why I want to have a lot of variety and quite a bit of each thing. So you can see I'm making more and more parsnips. Those are not like a high value item, but at the same time, when I get to the end of the season and I'm like, I don't want to waste my fields, I want to grow something, then that's why I have that all there. There's a reason behind my crazy madness and my OCD madness. I'm trying to grow as many potatoes too as I can, just cause, it's just one of those things. I don't like to have one thing. I've seen people say they get bored with the one thing that they're growing, and it's because they get stuck on this min-maxing thing. In my opinion, this is totally my opinion, that they get stuck on the min-maxing thing where they only grow the thing that is the most valuable, and they end up getting bored because it's the same thing over and over and over again. I grow at the beginning of my season a minimum of 2 different crops, and usually 3. And then later in the season, I'm growing all kinds of things because I like the variety. And I will go ahead and run them through the preserve jars or the kegs or whatever, depending upon what they are, and sell them later in the game, much later in the game, when I'm only putting ancient fruit wines and star fruit wines in the cellar casks. These other ones, like if I grow like a shed full, I don't remember how much a full large shed kegs, I think it's 61, or so that's for me anyway. I don't maximize it again. But if I have 61 bottles of strawberry wine, I'll throw them straight into the shipping bin, because I'm only going to be aging the ancient fruit wine and the star fruit wine. But that is much, much later in the game. So I'm just kind of giving you a heads up of how I work now and how I'll be working later, which will look very different. The other thing I'm doing is right now I'm getting a couple of flowers and I'm going to pop those in the seed maker. The flowers, the purpose of the flowers is twofold. First off, I love tulips. I'll tell you a story about that in a minute. Secondly, the jazz, I think they're called, I forgot what they're called, blue jazz flowers, the ones, the blue ones, yeah, blue jazz. You need to plant flowers near your honey, the beehives, because it makes the honey more valuable. So that's what I was doing, was making sure that I run those seeds through there so I had them. Tulips. And I wanted to share a personal story about the tulips. So when I was a child, we went to visit when we went to visit my grandmother in the springtime, she had a huge tulip garden. They had a piece of property with a very, very large side yard and a huge evergreen. And right next to that evergreen tree, which was just monstrous, she had a tulip garden. If you've never seen tulips, you should go Google them and see. They are a beautiful flower, just beautiful. But sadly, their lifespan is extremely short. They pop up through the ground in the spring when the soil starts getting warm, and they only last like a week. But for that week, they are just absolutely stunning and beautiful. I love them so much, and they do remind me of my grandmother. And so when I found out this game had tulips, I thought, that is so cool. I'm going to have a tulip garden myself. Oh, by the way, I didn't mention this part, is that she had every color of the rainbow of her tulips in her tulip garden. And so, and it was huge. I can't even remember. To me, I was a kid, so size is weird when you're a kid. I would swear that her tulip garden was 10 to 12 feet across. It may have even been bigger. I probably should check with other relatives to see if they know. But it was huge and just had, I don't know, it looked to me like hundreds of tulips. If you don't know anything about tulips, they are grown from a bulb. The bulb is planted in the soil in the fall, usually late fall. You plant the bulbs. And then in the springtime, when the soil warms up, the flowers push up through the soil. And it's just, to me, it's magical. It's one of the things I love about spring. It's just magical. And I love it so much. And tulips are a big part of that. So I'm just rambling on about the tulips. I was so excited to see them in the game that we could actually plant tulips. And so over the different years that we are playing here, I'm going to have a tulip garden and plant every color I possibly can. So here is what I'm doing now. Down below this main walkway, which comes down below the fenced area for my animals, I'm going to set up a little area here that's partially decorative. It also has a use, and you'll see kind of what I'm planning here. But there's something that happens that you haven't seen yet, and I don't want to spoil it for those who have not played the game and not seen it yet. Let's just say that what I'm going to be doing is planting 9 of specific plants in that growing area there, and 1 to the left. And if what I want to happen happens, it is pretty awesome. Again, it's mostly decorative, and so that part of it is going to be pretty cool if it happens. So we'll see if it does. The other thing I'm going to do is put a whole mess or bank of beehives, and I like to arrange them so that they're all kind of in a row, and there's a flower that's growing in the middle of them, because honey is more valuable with a flower growing around it. So I'm kind of setting this area up ahead of time. Obviously, I can't grow anything, put any seeds in here, it'll just die. So I'm not going to put the seeds in, but I'm kind of planning ahead for it. Both the special crops that I'm going to be growing in those areas right there, which I didn't need to hoe that. It's going to unhoe itself, but I wanted to get it put there anyway. as a placeholder basically, and then it helps me decide where the beehives are going to go. And I don't think the beehives produce honey in the wintertime. We haven't, the beehive, I had knocked it down because of a silo or something, and I never put it back up. That's because I knew that I was going to create this area down here for the hives, and kind of create this little, it'll really look nice, and it's going to be useful because honey is another revenue stream. You know, I've talked about that many times in the past. I haven't for a while in my episodes, but you know, in the business world, when you have a business, it is wise to have multiple revenue streams. And what that means is the income for your business comes from multiple sources or different streams. And sometimes one stream is going to give you more money than another at different times. So it's a smart business decision. In this case, in running this farm, I like to have multiple revenue streams because it's fun, because it breaks up monotony, because it's not boring. So that is one reason why I'm going to have multiple revenue streams. I'm going to have bee houses, they call them. Beehives, I call them beehives, but it's a bee house. So I'm going to have beehives. And the bee houses are going to give me honey, which I can use for resources. I can use it for cooking. There's lots of things you can do with honey. Mostly, I'll be selling the honey for the most part. So it's going to be a revenue stream. Again, I like to have my farm do all kinds of things. You can see I have the animals that are creating the milks and eggs and that we use for cheeses, and you know, we're going to process them into mayonnaise and all kinds of things, and all of that is part of a working farm in my view of a working farm. So I'm going to be creating these the bee houses soon and put them down below where I was just talking about. I know I've got a couple of bee houses already, but I'm going to be doing more, and that area I'll hold down there is going to be set up very soon. I also know that I need to create a whole bunch more coal because it takes coal to make the bee houses, and I have barely enough to keep up with the ore that I'm working with. So we need to work on that. So it got late while we weren't paying attention, and it is now, look at this, we didn't have a whole lot of money, but that's okay because we were busy doing other things. We are day 18 of winter in year number 2. We only have 10 more days left in the winter. So we have lots of things that we need to get done this winter, but we are going to work on it and say hello to Harvey first thing. Keep that relationship going and go check the baby who's sleeping away. Again, it's going to age up a little bit and we can do more. And man, is it snowing heavy. Whew. The wizard just sent us a frozen tear. So thank you, Wizard, because we're getting better friends with them. Okay, I would like to give you some information on an upcoming event, the Feast of the Winter Star. It's a time for the community to come together and think back on all the good fortune we've had this year. A favorite tradition is the Secret Gift Exchange, where everyone in town is randomly assigned to someone else. On the day of the festival, everyone brings a gift to their secret friend. My secret friend is Sam. Don't tell anyone. 25th of the month, 10 to 2, Town Square. So if you had not seen the previous year, and if you have not played Stardew Valley, basically you are a secret Santa. And my secret person is Sam. And during the festival or during the party, then I will be giving Sam his secret gift. So it is my goal to figure out what secret gift Sam would like the most. And I'll have to check and see if I've already given him a loved gift. And if not, I probably will figure it out on my own. If it doesn't automatically tell me, then I can also look it up on the wiki. I don't think I've mentioned the links in this particular episode. So in each of the descriptions on my videos, I have helpful things. For Stardew Valley, I have 3 different links for you. One is the official Stardew Valley webpage. And that could be useful for if there's any updates or anything of importance that you need to know about Stardew Valley. Lots of information there. Another link I have is the wiki, which that is invaluable unless you just love figuring things out for yourself by hit and miss. I don't. So that wiki, for instance, if I want to know anything about dinosaur eggs, I could search for dinosaur eggs. It tells me how I could get them. It tells me what to do with them. It tells me all kinds of information about anything that you are looking for. So it is a very, very valuable resource. And then the official Stardew Valley forums. If you want to have a wonderful community of people to talk about this amazing game, you couldn't find a better one. The people of that forum are wonderful and helpful, and they will help you with any questions that you can't find answers to somewhere else. So I highly recommend that you go on the forums. If you don't have an account, create one, say hello, and check it out. There's everything you can possibly imagine on there. There's even some amazing farms that people post pictures of, which is how I got the inspiration for my farm. And I'll be following kind of a blueprint of my previous farm. And I highly recommend that you go check out those forums. They're wonderful. They really helped me enjoy this game to the max when I started playing it and needed help. So as you can see, we had gotten a diamond, we got a piece of wool, and we got a duck feather, all of which are very good things that help our bottom line, our monies. So it pays to have bunnies and ducks. Pays a lot. I mean, I can't believe how much those things are worth, especially iridium. We got gold this time, but iridium's fine too. Gold is fine too. Iridium's better. But as you can see, we've got some things to go pop in our shipping bin. Get those prices up. Yes, yes, yes. And we're at 113,000 right now. It'd be interesting to see what we are in the morning. So pop those things in there. And I'm always making sure that I hadn't got something I was supposed to hang on to. Every diamond is worth 750. So that's awesomeness. And double checking. We're still trying to get that lobster. Oh my gosh. It's like, really? I mean, what the heck? I'm going to keep our kiln and our furnaces cranking because we have so many things, especially our kiln, because we need a lot of coal. And because we are to make those bee houses that I was telling you about. So right now I grabbed my fishing rod, took the bait off of it, and we're going to go down and check those crab pots and see if we've got lobsters yet. And if I said this before, I'm sorry. I don't know why it's taking so long. I double checked the wiki. It does say that to get lobsters, you put crab pots in salt water and they will eventually give you lobsters. So I don't know. I'm not, maybe it's just bad luck. Maybe it's bad luck. I don't know. My bad luck. I don't know if it's a random thing. I have no idea, honestly. But I'm going to keep trying. In the meantime, we're getting things out of them that we can sell. So, and also taking a trip to the beach. We get to dig up artifacts sometimes. So far, we haven't had any new artifacts lately. These are things that we've already found. But we're foraging things like clams. All that stuff can be put in the shipping bin. And then, of course, coral, which is very important. That is what we'll be using to mix with oak resin to make the deluxe speed grow, which hopefully, if things go right, we'll have enough to plant all of our stuff with deluxe speed grow this spring, and everything grows 25% faster. I love it. So we'll see. I'm saving as much of the oak resin as I can. I'm saving as much coral as I can get, and we'll see. I have other ways of getting coral later, and we'll get to that soon, and I'll share that with you. And I love teasing you with things like that. So, still no lobsters. What the heck? In the meantime, I got an oyster that we can sell, and a broken CD that we can put in our recycle bin. So, I keep forgetting to hold the mouse over that broken CD, and it says something like Joja Mart 2.0 or something like that. It's very funny. It reminds me of CDs they would give out for playing beta games. They would send you a CD, and so it's kind of funny. It reminds me of that a little bit. And yes, I've been part of beta for a few games, so it was kind of fun. But anyway, it was a flashback, and I don't know. Concerned Dave doesn't seem that old that he would be doing that, but maybe so. Maybe he did. Maybe he is that age. He doesn't seem it though. I've seen a really wonderful documentary about him and the development of Stardew Valley. It is absolutely fascinating and a little bit sad. I mean, the guy just nearly killed himself to get this game done. And he did it himself, which is incredible when you think about it. When you think about all of the things in this game. By the way, here's these little sparklies. We were given this for Clint, I think, gave it to us for panning for ore. We got an aquamarine and 6 copper ore. And I almost walked by that because I didn't see it very well because of the snow. So I missed that. I do miss that a lot in the game and when we see those sparklies in the water. So anyway, Concerned Ape, just a super nice guy. His name is, I think, Eric. I'm going to say his last name wrong. But Barone designed this game himself. And he wrote all of this dialogue. He drew every character. I mean, he did it all, which is amazing when you think about it. I mean, some of these games takes a huge team. Big games take hundreds and hundreds of people working on it for years and years, and yet he did it himself, which makes me want to. I mean, I've bought this game twice. I bought it for PC and I bought it for mobile just for one reason. I wanted to support Eric. I wanted to show Concerned Ape that what he did was very valuable and worthwhile, and worth my money. And now I'm sharing it with you so that if you like what you see, go buy it. I mean, it is just amazing. You've seen this. We are 56 episodes in and we've barely scratched the surface of the content. And to me, that's kind of how I judge if a game is worth the money I'm paying for it, is the content. Is there replayability? Is it got more than a handful of hours? I've bought games that I finished in like hours and thought, really, that's it, and was very disappointed. A game like this that I'll be playing off and on probably for the rest of my life, I would say that is definitely worth the money. And I cannot thank my son enough for suggesting it to me, which he did. He's a game designer. He's a lead sound engineer for a major computer design company. A game design company. And he knows what I like. He knows the kinds of games that I play. And I honestly had never played a game just like this before. And he said, hey, you might like that game called Stardew Valley. And really, I'll check it out. I checked it out, and it is my second most played game on my Steam library, which is saying quite a bit. So, anyway, getting back to the game, I decided that let's do a little bit more seed making here. And so we're popping pretty much all these cauliflowers in here. I'm going to try to get as many as we can. We got 10 days left in the season, and we need to be ready in 11 days with as many seeds as we can, and that takes us up to 54. I don't know if that'd be enough. It just, like I said a couple of times, it depends on how big our planting area is. I don't know, because I really don't want to make a whole bunch more of these particular sprinklers. They're called quality sprinklers because the iridium sprinklers are right around the corner, and I don't think I'm going to have enough to do our entire planting area that I'll eventually have. So I'm not sure. I haven't made up my mind yet what to do about that. There's just no way to, I don't think there's any way to get enough iridium ore to make all the sprinklers that we would need. So I'm not sure yet. I'm working the problem in my head because, again, I've said this before. I started playing this game either the year it was released or the year after, and I honestly don't remember. I don't think Steam tells me that when I bought something. And oh, by the way, that's that weathered floor that we got the recipe for from the dwarf guy. That is the flooring that I love for the outside walkways. And eventually all of this cobblestone will be replaced with it. But another story. So back to what I was starting to tell you is that I started the game initially, and then I thought, oh, I need to start over because I didn't like the farm layout that I had chosen. I think it was I don't remember, something rivers or something. I don't remember what it was. But it wasn't working for my vision for what I wanted to do for my game. So I started over, and that's the one that I've played for 11 in-game years. And that has taken me many years of, you play something, and if you get tired, you move on to something else and you come back to it. I've played that game for so many years, that same save file. So it's been a long time since I've been at this place in the game where I didn't have iridium sprinklers. So it's like, okay, what do I do? How do I get to that? And I know how to get iridium sprinklers. I know how to get iridium ore, but I'm at that point where it's like, okay, do I go ahead and build out my planting area with the quality sprinklers where you can only put 8 crops around each one, and do I make a whole bunch more to fill this planting area, or do I leave it as it is and wait until I get the iridium sprinklers and then redesign it? So I don't know what the answer is. I'll figure it out in time, but I'm just not sure. Like I said, it's been a long time since I've been at this point in the game. But it's kind of been fun to go back and been able to experience all of this again. There's so many things that I've forgotten. And when you go for years of playing a game, believe me, there's a ton of stuff that you have forgotten. And especially me. I mean, I have short-term memory loss, and I swear it goes back even further than that sometimes, because I can reread books and not have a clue how they end. I can re-watch movies and not have a clue how they end. But it's not all movies and it's not all books. Sometimes I remember them all. Sometimes I have no clue. Sometimes I've watched an entire movie all the way to the end. It's like, I think I might have seen that before. So while short-term memory loss is kind of a pain in the neck sometimes, because I have to be very careful about making lists of things. Like if my husband says we're out of mayonnaise, if I don't stop right in that moment and put mayonnaise on my grocery list, I say, if those who've watched previous episodes know I'm chuckling at the word mayonnaise, but because I hate mayonnaise. If I don't put it on my list right that moment, it's very likely I will not buy mayonnaise next time, or whatever it is that we're needing, because I have forgotten. There's been times where I've picked up my phone to put something on my list, and I have forgotten before I could get it on my list. It's like, okay, what was it? And it doesn't come back. It's like, I have no idea what it was I was trying to put on my list. And it, like I said, never comes back. So, that's just the way it is. It's called short-term memory loss, and some seniors have it really bad, and I have it really bad. So I just have to be careful. And, I don't forget anything, super, super duper important. And I definitely don't forget things from long ago. I even wrote a book for my kids about my childhood and went all the way back to stories of my young childhood, and then everything that I could remember. I had no problem with that at all. So anyway, off we go. I wanted to mention that while I had been just chatting away here, that our oak resin had finally popped on our oak resin farm of our oak trees. So I'm so happy that I found out and figured out that your resins and the pine tar and the maple syrup will go ahead and grow on the trees in the wintertime, even though they are dormant, which I was so happy to find that out so that we can continue to collect that oak resin. Very, very important. What I'm trying to do here is propagate as much coal as possible, because I need to start making the bee houses, and I think it takes like 8 coal per house? It's a lot, and I don't want to run out of coal. So, it's another reason to kind of propagate it a little bit better than I've been doing for situations like this. I mean, what if you need it for something else? And I definitely need it for something else. It takes, look at that. Yeah. And it needs wood and iron bars and maple syrup for each one. So we got a ways to go to be able to do what I want to do. And I think I'm going to put down, I can't remember how many I had before. It was maybe 8. I'd have to look at it. Again, as a reminder that I'm going off of my 11-year farm. I did screenshots of it. I've showed screenshots of it. And I'm kind of going off of that as far as the design of the farm. And the bee houses are part of that semi-decorative but useful area that we are going to have down below. And I know I need, how many, I just made 3. And I'm like, okay, what did I miss? And it's like, oh, I don't have enough coal. Coal. Oh my gosh. It is a problem. I need so much more coal. So we'll just do it a little at a time. It's no big deal. I'm just thinking, okay, how many more can I make? And how much patience do I have to stand there and wait for it? I don't know how long it takes. I don't know. I mean, I can tell you it takes 10 seconds to make C's, but I don't remember how long it takes to make coal. And so I'm like, come on. And I'm sitting there looking at it thinking, oh, goodness, I'm just watching the time go by. Yeah. And I don't recall. It might be a full minute. I don't know. It might be more. 5 minutes. I don't know. I'm just throwing numbers out there because I can't remember. So anyway, as I've said before, save those resources. So in the beginning, anything that you find, it seems like you have to sell so much of it because you need money so bad. But anything that you're not sure of, like coal and clay and all wood, all these things that you're finding, you save every single thing you can and put it away, because here we are. I mean, we really haven't, the only thing we've used coal for is making our iron, the metal bars. But here we are needing 8 pieces of coal per bee house, and I'm trying to make a whole bunch of bee houses. So save and hoard and hoard and hoard. Oh, look at that really weird black bird. I don't know what that thing does or why. It's weird. It's like, it's creepy. So anyway, as I've said many times, Stardew Valley has created hoarders of us all, and happily so. So here we are. It looks like my preserve jars are ready. So I think I'm going to go with the blackberry this time. I was very happy that the bear told us that the blackberries were now worth 3 more than they were before. I have no idea how much they were worth before, but I was happy to see that they were worth more. So as you're running along here, I know I have exactly 21 berries in my hand. When I have 1 left, that means I've filled all the ones in the shed, and I can go put them in the shipping bin. So yay! I'm trying really hard to make enough coal before the end of the day and to make another bee house, so I can go put those down there. I don't have enough to do what I want to do. I think I started to say it's either 6 or 8 in my little decoration area. Again, I'm going from basically the layout of my 10-year farm. And so what I had done is I'd actually pulled that farm up on my other monitor while I was playing this and was looking and kind of saying, okay, I need a double walkway here, single walkway there. I need my 2 planting spots here. Below the planting spots, I have X number of walkways. And so I was kind of counting it out and trying to get, also I remember, didn't I have a couple bee houses? And the answer was yes, I did have a couple more bee houses. And so I can grab that one. And if I can get 1 more piece of coal, I can make 1 more bee house. So I think, I don't know. I'll have to go see. And what am I missing? I'm missing something. Oh. I'll have to go look at it and see. If you don't want to wait until I show it again, you can go to my playlists, and I do reviews of my games, some games, and I did a review of Stardew Valley. And in that review, I show screenshots of the 11-year farm. And you can see that's going to be basically the blueprint of what I am working off of. And it will show you what that area is going to eventually look like. So we will get there. And I'm positive it was way more than 6. But I just really wanted to come down here and get these things put down. Get the cobblestone pathways put down and kind of get this area flushed out here. And it's getting really late. And I got so excited about what I was doing that I wasn't really paying attention. And it's like, oh my gosh, it's after 1 o'clock. And I've told you guys what happens if you don't go to bed in time. And so, okie dokie. Yeah, and I was wrong about that. I think I put down 12 total. 3 on each side. Yeah, so I need to have double the amount that I have. So that's okay. We'll get them. We'll get them made. But I want you to notice the time, because I wasn't noticing the time. I wasn't paying attention at all. And I'm just doing my thing, not paying any attention. It's 1:50 a.m. What happens if you do not get in bed by 2 a.m.? I've told you guys before. You collapse. Oh my gosh. Is this the first time in 56 episodes I really think that it is. And with that, we are going to end this episode. I want to thank you so much for following along. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to my channel. And if you like my videos, give me a like. It helps YouTube like me better when y'all do that. And it lets me know I'm doing something that other people find valuable. Most important thing of all is for you to have a wonderful rest of your day.